Hello, my hosts, and welcome to another Kerbal Space Program stream. Today, we are going to be attempting yet again to land on Moho, which is the Mercury equivalent planet in Kerbal Space Program. We've had 3 failures so far, so this will make our 4th attempt, and hopefully we will be more successful this time. Also, I've changed up the schedule a little bit, so for our Kerbal Space Program stream on my Monday, it is going to be slightly later than previously, just so I see if I can get be more successful at getting an audience for this stream. And we've changed a couple of the other streams as well. So I hope this will help everybody be able to enjoy my streams more easily. Okay, so let's jump right into the Kerbal Space Program. Last time we flew, we crashed and had to revert everything. So let's see if we can... Hold on, we got 2 Moho. That's the one we want. And that, go to launch vessel. Let's double check that we've got the right ship. Yep. Grab our joystick. Enable it. Thrust to maximum. That's our pre-flight checklist done. And go. So we'll stage through this one. And we are continuing to accelerate. That's good. First stage deployment. First stage is done. Continuing to accelerate. That is good. We do have a feature of this one that one of its higher stages has a thrust to weight ratio of less than 1. But now we sort of build up a lot of momentum in the launch as we're getting over 7. We start our gravity turn. There we go. Let's make sure we keep stable. Yep, that's good. That's our next what's-its? He calls it a what's-its. Our next stage, we continue our thing, and we keep an eye on our apoapsis. We are doing a pretty good gravity turn here. Perhaps slightly too aggressive. go. Once we get up to about 45 degrees, we probably don't want to continue turning, just allowing it to build up. Because this is the point where we are passing through the region of low thrust to weight ratio. So we want to just climb up here, increasing both our velocity and our altitude. Because going sideways is what basically increases our orbit, while gaining altitude gets us out of the atmosphere and makes our thrust more effective. So 45 degrees is a pretty good compromise between the two. There we go. Got 19 seconds. This is good. And as you see, as we get higher, acceleration increases and the altitude of our apoapsis increases. Here we go. 40. Only issue is thrusting sort of not in line with our existing vector is less than efficient. So as we get up really high, we can probably go like that. We should see this shoot up greatly. There we go. Got 5. We're looking to get it over 70 kilometers on the apoapsis, and that will represent a stable orbit. 60 meters, 60 kilometers. It's going well. And flying almost parallel to the ground, so we're getting the most efficient use. Okay, we'll bring that down. Oh, that looks really nice. Add a thing like that. This is a circularization. There we go. And 150, that's good. While we are up here, let's deploy that. Excellent. Now that we're like that, got a 8-second burn to circularize. That sounds really good. And we'll still have some fuel left in the tank in order to give us a little burst on when we're escaping the orbit. I'll just fast forward a little bit. Here we go. Got a minute left. Right. I've got the big tank here that has 10k worth of thrust. That looks pretty good to me. Okay. If this is successful, we might try and use it on other situations. Okay. 20 seconds. 18, 17. We go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circularization burn. And we are in a circular orbit. That is good. And look, that is really nice and flat. Let's see. Yeah. That is calculating 99%. Why can't I create a... Let's go and do a quick save here. Why can't I... do this? Eve. We can create an alarm for Eve. Ah, there we go. Moho, so 2 kilometers. And circularization. Create an alarm, and it says 18 minutes of burn time. I might have to be careful with this one because we've had issues before. But we'll go like that. Let's go out here. Going to set... I can't set the thing. So we'll warp to the next stop. So I'll sit outside of here. And keep an eye on the orbit. Delete and close, and you notice that pointing directly down would be the way that it advised me to go. Can't do that, so I'm going to tell it to go prograde. While we are moving prograde, I am going to deploy the antenna, or at least one. Okay, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn. It's going to be a little bit difficult. There we go. That's actually saying we are losing things. So I'm going to wait until we pass out of here slightly and then adjust our orbit so we get more close to being next to the maneuver node. Just gonna go all there. Just want to ensure that I don't go through the planet. Okay, I think we can now switch like that, even though it is pointing directly down. Okay. That's not... Okay. That's going down, but it's not going down faster than that. Our altitude's still above and rising. Cool. Oh, what's this bit of debris? We are coming up. Excellent. So things are working out a lot better than our previous attempt. And this time, even if we've got a lot more fuel to mess around with as well. And a bit more acceleration. So everything is coming up Millhouse. Okay. This is going to be almost a 10-minute burn, but that is to be expected. Okay, that's moving out. It's moving out as well. We're going to have a little incident with Mun. That's always a bit of fun. And once we escape, we'll see about correcting any of our orbital stuff as well. And on top of the 9 kilometers or kilometers per second of delta V we have, we've got these 2 stages which we are going to be using to basically zero in and land. There we go. So we're coming in to an escape-ish path. Excellent. So we're going to hit the node soon, or pass by it. And it's going fine. So the delta V requirement is around 2 kilometers, and we've got 9 kilometers in. But the issues, of course, are: can we burn long enough to use that efficiently? So as we get closer and closer to our vector, our burn becomes more efficient. Hello, Special Edition. good to see you. How am I doing today? I am doing quite well. Got some stuff recorded, got some work done, and been having a good day. I'm still trying to land a probe on Moho. And this time I've built a much larger vessel to do it, which has a lot more delta V, so I am thinking we'll have a bit more luck. And weird, whole lot of weird bits of slingshotting off of Mun, which might get in our way. Seems to happen all the time. I saw that short. At first I was worried it was going to be a hot take, but the message was actually quite reasonable. Thank you. I was worried that I was going to upset some people who would just see the title, but it's good that people actually watch the whole thing. But it's a short, so people should have watched the whole thing. There we go. Now we are continuing to accelerate. Yeah, I might also do a longer video about people with disabilities and VTubing, but I'm still getting my thoughts together and doing my research and all that. You understand people's ability to read headlines and nothing else? Yes, very much so. I used to at one point work for a newspaper company, and that was always an issue, that people would just read the headline, not read the article, get angry and post angry comments. So I know exactly how that can turn out. Yeah. And we got the thing there. And it's one of the tragedies. I mean, that's the big problem that, well, before Twitter self-destructed, that Twitter had. That people would post a tweet referring to a news story with just the headline, and then people would get all angry about the headline and not read it. And that was, if news companies, instead of read headlines, only listed the topics of the articles with no info. Yeah, but nobody would ever do that, because if you don't have a catchy headline, people don't read the article at all. They'll read somebody else's article which has a more catchy headline. So it's just the bad way that the world is set up. Of course they wouldn't, because they profit off anger. It's a headline only topic. Yeah, that's the other thing. People do have hot takes and want that angry views, because the angry views is what makes the money, which is that's an even bigger problem. That people just want to be angry and they don't want to have to think. And if you can give them a way to be angry and not think about things, then they just do that and make bad decisions because of that. And then they'll elect bad politicians, and it's not a good way to be. I like people being thoughtful and researching and weighing up all the possibilities, because I truly believe that most people want to do the good things and make the world a better place, but you can only do that effectively if you do it with knowledge and understanding of the situation, And if you go into a complex situation just running off your gut, you run into problems. I mean, I run off my gut quite often when I'm playing computer games, but I've got the revert flight and the load save button. If I make a mistake, I can undo it. But in reality, you don't have those. In reality, you don't have that power. You always have to live with the consequences of your action. And if your actions cause bad things to happen, then you are worse off. Again, same thing with the situation with Twitter. When Elon Musk went in and basically said, okay, everybody under a certain number of lines of code being written, you should be sacked. That sounds reasonable if you think that a programmer's job is writing code. But it isn't the case if you know... Yeah, that was a dumb code. Yeah. It doesn't make sense if you're actually experienced with writing computer code. Because the better a computer programmer you are, the less you write code. Because the code that you do write is more efficient. So you get more done with less being written. And you use that extra time to write better code rather than more code. So you're actually often punishing the most efficient and skilled programmers and rewarding the worst programmers. So that was a very foolish thing. Especially if I'm a programmer and I know that I am going to be judged on how many lines of code that I write out, I can very easily write a lot of code that does nothing, that still looks quite reasonable, and just pump up the size of everything. I've done it in the past, sometimes. Actually, I won't admit that. When I edit this, I'll just remove that, won't I? No, I won't. Telling on myself. Anyway, we are heading out of the... Just type in in specific notes, not even code. Oh, yeah. For both commenting, both looks good and often actually is very good, but can be effective in bumping up your metrics that way. But I do actually like writing good commenting in my code when I have the time and the inclination. It's just nice to sort of like leave notes and explain how things work. I remember opening up a program file one time and reading through it and getting a whole lot of really useful and informative notes on the code, and it was super good, and I was feeling very happy about that. And I said, okay, I'm going to look at who wrote this code to find out why they find out and say so like thank you to them. And I opened the file up. I typed in the command in our source control system, so it would tell me who wrote it. And I had found out that I had written the code. I had written the code and completely forgotten the fact that I had written that stuff. What languages do I know? I know Perl, Go, Haskell, Common Lisp, Scheme, C#, C, Python, JavaScript, and I'm teaching myself a bit of the Godot language as well. Oh, I also know PHP, but I don't admit it in polite company. You haven't heard about half of them? Some of them are sort of esoteric. Sort of, but what happens is once you know sort of the bases of a couple of languages, you can transfer your knowledge from one to the other. So it's not that impressive at the bottom, because JavaScript, Scheme, and Common Lisp are all dialects of the same language. If you know C, it helps you know C# and Go and those type of languages. And if you know Haskell, it doesn't help you at all because Haskell's just really weird. How's it on it? Oh! Collecting old computer equipment is a great hobby. The person that I live with, that's one of their hobbies. They have some, among other things, some very old Apple hardware and old Sun equipment. And I'm going to slow this down. So, 3. Oh, whoop. There we go. Okay, that's all set up. We're probably going to miss having that encounter properly. That's fine. So we'll put a maneuver node there. And we're going to say Moho, set that as target. And adjust it. Probably outwards. Not sure why the calculator doesn't always get a good encounter calculation. What's this doing? How about if we go up like that? Just trying to adjust ourselves. Cancel that maneuver. So we'll be going out like that. That's a slight angle. I want to add a maneuver there. How about? Does that help? It says 10 degrees out, 9 degrees out. Six. 1 degree out. 0 out. And we'll adjust this orbit slightly and see if we can get it to improve the timing as well. That's better. And we go into our advanced maneuver. That's 38. Let's adjust that. 16. Oh, overshot. And we want to get down to being as close as possible. 14. We just adjust our thing. Nope. We ruined that way. 17. Can we get about 13, 10, 14? It's basically a matter of adjusting this maneuver a bit more. It's interesting how we can just like slip over. I think that's the best we can do from there. And so we'll do that. And we'll try and correct again after that happens. So set that like that. We'll sit on here. So I'm going to check. We've got plenty of time before that happens. So let's fast forward to our next maneuver node. Time warp has stopped. Huh? What's going on here? Something weird's happened. We must have bumped into Kerbal or something. I am super unsure what's going on now. Add a maneuver. Let's see if we can adjust it so we can get ourselves better in line. That's slightly better. You go like that. That doesn't improve it. Oh, we had an encounter. Maybe Planet 9's... There we go. Focus view. Let's adjust our orbit slightly. Get nice and close. Oh, that's very close. And doesn't require much. But not that close. We don't want to be that close. There we go. let's save the game there. And let's see if we can do that. So that's going to require 730 meters a second. We have over 6K. That looks good. Let's fast forward to that point. That will be 18 days. We can probably see the sun get bigger as we get closer. Yeah. And I mean, retro computing is a really fun hobby and gets you closer to the history of the field. And it's really good because a lot of key aspects of computing are now really abstracted away. So to understand computing better, working on the simpler and less complicated earlier computers gives you a deeper understanding, I feel. I mean, I understand why the abstraction is there. It makes computing a lot less complicated and a lot easier to do. But it also takes away the richness of the field. So it is good to have situations where you can sort of like get in touch with the bare metal, get closer to the bare metal. And even though I say that, I am a super abstract person. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn. So this will be our correction burn. That'll be a 5-minute burn. Did you watch a show called Computer Chronicles? No, I have not watched that show, but it sounds like exactly the type of show I would enjoy watching. What I have watched is a YouTube series by a person called Ben Ender, I think is his name, where he constructs a computer on a breadboard from basic logic circuits. So just using things like and OR gates as well as multiplexers and memory, he reproduces an entire CPU, which is normally you get just on a chip, but with him it's like wires on a bit of plastic. And that really deepened my understanding of computing. Just seeing all the discrete parts of it and seeing how they interacted. Not just in a theoretical way, but watching it practically play out on a bit of hardware. You love those breadboard CPUs. Excellent. That is a really good taste then. There we go. And I'm going to switch out of accelerated mode. Slow down because I want to keep an eye on our real versus projected thing. There we go. And the issue with being so far out is even small amounts of thrust can change your trajectory massively. So we've got 40 seconds, 39, about half a minute. That's coming in. Things are growing closer. Gonna keep an eye on this because it will fly away, and I have issues with concentration and keeping getting distracted. There we go. So there we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we'll just ease ourselves. There we go. That is nice. Why is an AP... I happen to know the answer to that in a general sense. The reason that the APU isn't considered a computer is because in the modern concept of a computer, we think of a computer as something that is equivalent to a mathematical idea called a Turing machine. And the APU isn't a Turing machine. And why isn't that allowing me to stop? Right. So that's the escape. Add a maneuver. And we run into the same problem. I am starting to think that this calculator is just bad for Moho. Because that is way too much. So then a calculator... Yeah, it is a calculator and not a computer. Because it can't do generalized computing tasks, basically. Right. I think we're going to have to revert this and try it again. And do the intersection planning manually, because this isn't going to work. Oh well. Again, this is a learning process. And we'll have to revert back to a couple of previous saves, as I was talking about. Going by your gut and then being able to revert back. So we'll do that shortly, but probably in our next Kerbal Space Program stream. Let's go back to the main room and we'll discuss what is going on with the schedule. Okay, so I've been putting my schedule up on my YouTube community page. So if you do go and look at that, you'll see that tomorrow at 15:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time will be my Minecraft stream. And on Wednesday, the day after, will be Factorio. Then we'll have the next Kerbal Space Program stream at the same day. So Monday again. So it'll be a week to the next Kerbal Space Program stream. And that will be at 1800. So please look forward to that. Did the first digital computers... all computers, digital computers, have some sort of arithmetic processing unit to do basic calculations. But the thing that distinguishes a calculator from a computer is basically that they can do those calculations in loops and change the flow of processing in accordance to the result of the calculations. That's sort of the key thing that switches something out from being a calculator and turns it into being a computer. But as I was saying, next week for Kerbal Space Program, tomorrow for Minecraft. I hope to see everybody there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you later.